Hey there, podcast lovers. Looking for a fresh take on the world? Tune into Nikki's World, where we dive into everything hitting the headlines and chat about just what's on our minds. No filters, just real talk. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or unwinding after a long day, Nikki's World is your go-to for genuine commentary on the real world. Subscribe now if you want to hear the real deal on what's going on. Join the conversation on Nikki's World, where every episode feels like catching up with an old friend. Don't miss out.
What's up, y'all? Let's do this.
Oh, hi guys, welcome to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host, and today, guys, we gotta talk about why actions speak louder than words and why this applies to President Trump and what he wants to do to leftist groups like Antifa and all that. But before we go any further, guys, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, can y'all please consider donating a cup of coffee for me? Because for the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Cumberland Farms, guys, you guys help keep this podcast show alive. You guys help me curate more stories, more topics like this to talk about. I do accept Bitcoin donations. I am on Ko-fi, guys. If you guys want to support, sponsor, donate, and tip to Nikki's World. If you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, please hit that like, subscribe, please give me a review. Good, bad, and the ugly. Also, guys, I do have a bunch of affiliate links. First off is Minds.com. Minds.com is a Connecticut based social media platform. They are an awesome alternative to Facebook. So if you guys value your right to freedom of speech like I do, and you guys want to be able to say stuff without fear of being blocked, suspended, or deplatformed, well then, head on over to Minds.com. Also, I do have the most awesome, and I mean the most awesome affiliate link with Byrna.com. Byrna.com is a less lethal self-defense company, guys. They make their top of the line Byrna SD, Byrna LE, TCR, Mission 4, and their newest, guys, their compact launcher. So if you guys value your right to the Second Amendment, but you guys want to do it in a less lethal manner, well then, guys, head on over to my friends at Byrna.com. Also, guys, I do have the most wonderful and awesome affiliate link with North Shore Medical Supply. North Shore Medical Supply is their top of the line diaper company. They make their North Shore Mega Max diapers, their North Shore Supreme pull-ups, and their Eterna boosters, guys. So if you know someone out there who needs to wear adult diapers, who needs to be put in adult diapers like I am, guys, well then, send them on over to North Shore Medical Supply and they will make sure that they are diapered up and padded up as always. And before we get this show on the road, literally, guys, if you guys love this episode and any of my other episodes on Nikki's World, seriously, can y'all please consider sharing this across all the social media platforms that are out there today? Wow, yeah, wow, yeah, that was a mouthful. That was a mouthful. And yes, guys, I am diapered up as always in my North Shore Mega Max diapers. And yes, I'm in a t-shirt today because it's nice and warm out today. So it's one of those kind of t-shirt days. So anyway, I'm diapered up, I'm padded up. Let's get on with the show, shall we? So for the weekend, guys, we all heard that President Trump is deploying the National Guard to like Portland, Oregon, and Chicago, Illinois, guys, all because the leftists, including Antifa, which is the violent leftist terrorist group, have ratcheted up their attacks on ICE officers and ICE facilities to the point that now the military has no choice but to deploy. Okay? At this point, guys, the military has no choice. They're going to have to deploy. They're going to have to get in there. They're going to have to literally get in there and do the hard work and do the job that needs to get done. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, is that actions speak louder than words here. The problem with Mr. Trump is he he wants to talk the talk, but he can't walk the walk. He can't, ladies and gentlemen. He can't for one reason. That is because it's like this. There is no action behind what he says. Okay? And like Dan Bongino, the matters. Okay? You gotta be able to do what you're gonna say you're gonna do. It's like all these executive actions of calling Antifa a leftist violent terrorist group. Where's the action behind that? Where's the action? Because I'm telling you right now, ICE agents in like Chicago are getting assaulted or getting beaten up by violent leftists, including Antifa. Same thing in Portland, Oregon. Okay? Portland, Oregon, you got Antifa coming out at night attacking ICE facilities, ICE agents, even throwing anything, including the goddamn kitchen sink at these people. But then the problem is, Trump is all making speeches about, oh, we're gonna get Antifa, we're gonna go after them, we're giving like Cash, Dan, Pam, and Christy all the tools they need to go after Antifa. Here's my big question for you, Mr. Trump. Where's the action? Where is the action? Okay? Actions speak louder than words here. The fact that all the big talk, all the big speeches that you want to do in front of them, the conservative, libertarian, Republican, and MAGA community, just to make yourself look good? I want to see some action here, Mr. Trump. I want to see some arrests. I want to see some purges. I want to see leftist liberals and Antifa types arrested, prosecuted, and then thrown in prison. I want to see that. Okay? It's been like what? 9 months since you got elected and got sworn back into office, and we're not seeing action. We're seeing like words thrown around like Kamala Harris's big bowl of word salad that means shit. Come on. I want to see action. Okay? Actions speak louder than words. Okay? My generation, when I was growing up in the 1980s and 90s, guys, what you do matters more important than what you say. What you say means shit to me, okay? What you say means shit. My generation growing up, what you do matters more important than what you say. The fact that Mr. Trump is more of what he says more than what he does, I don't think his legacy is going to last any longer, okay? I don't think his legacy is going to be as solid as a rock. Because here's the thing, the do matters. What you do to me means a lot, okay? It really does. And for me, growing up in the 80s and 90s, what you do says more than what you'll ever say in your fucking lifetime. It really does. And that's the thing that a lot of people need to fucking understand. Is that Trump can make speeches, Trump can write executive orders, Trump can make press conferences or go in front of the camera. But where's the action? Where's the results? We want to see the results on the table here, Mr. President. We want to see the results. Okay? You can make speeches all you damn want. All right? But until I see results, until I see action, they're just words. They're just words that you puff up in front of your MAGA, libertarian, Republican, and conservative friends. Yeah. The fact that we are not seeing arrests, we are not seeing prosecutions, we are not seeing people being thrown in jail. We are not seeing people being thrown in prison and actually doing time in prison for it. Yeah, it just makes me wonder, guys. It just makes me wonder. Are we actually seeing the results of what Mr. Trump has promised? I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. I mean, I go like this. If I were Secretary of Homeland Security Christine Nome, I would be flying into Chicago or Portland, Oregon, setting up command right at the office and phoning Mr. Trump every goddamn fucking hour and saying, where's the National Guard? Where's the Marines? Where's the military? Yeah, I would. And I would be doing that until there's a federal troop guarding the federal facility. Yeah. And I would stay there until every goddamn fucking leftist, ANTIFA, liberal, and Democrat is arrested, prosecuted, and thrown in federal prison. I would be doing that if I was Secretary of Homeland Security Christine Nome. And the same thing applies to Cash, Dan, and Pam. I would not be sitting in Washington, D.C., making speeches and making X posts about what you're going to do. I would be flying into the heart of the action and commanding the response from the front. I would. But the problem is, they all want to make these grandiose speeches, but they're not showing the results to the American people and to you, the taxpayer and the voter of this country. They're not showing the results. They're not. And like I said, the title of this podcast show today is Actions Speak Louder Than Words, and we are not seeing any action. We're seeing words being flung everywhere, and then it makes me question, where's the results, Mr. President? Where's the results of you designating Antifa as a terrorist organization, designating leftist groups like the ADL, the Southern Poverty Law Center, or the ACLU as leftist terrorist organizations? Where's the results of all that? Where? I'm looking at you, Cash and Dan. Where's the results of this so-called investigation that you talk about, but are not producing results or not updating the American public on what's going on? Where's the results? Yeah, really. Where is the results? The fact of the matter is, guys, Trump is turning out to be more talk and less action. Okay? It's like, you know that song from Elvis Presley, little less conversation and a little more action? You think about that. That's what that's what's going on with the second Trump administration. It's more conversation and less action. Come on, you got 3 years to cement your legacy, Mr. Trump, before you have to turn this over to either J.D. Vance or the Republican, or not the Republicans, or the Democrats take over. You you got 3 years. I want to see those. I want to see those results. I want to see prosecutions. I want to see people being perp walked into federal prison. Yeah, I want to see Antifa terrorist group taken out bit by bit by bit. By the time the 2028 presidential election comes around, Antifa will no longer be allowed to breathe the same air as you and I are. Yeah, that's why I sit there and I ask myself, where's the results? There's all these talk speeches and this, but there's no results showing us like, oh, Mr. Trump is delivering on his promise. Yeah, really. The one promise I still like that he delivered, yeah, more ICE agents out in the field, more arrests, more illegal immigrants taken off the streets, including those who walked in illegally, and the ones that have criminal convictions, and the ones that are wanted by their home country that are on Interpol red notices. Yeah, that's that's what we got so far. But now I want to see results on Mr. Trump trying to take out Antifa, okay? Taking out George Soros's Open Society group, okay? I want to see those results. And the problem is, we're not getting any. What we're seeing is ICE agents having the pussyfoot around Antifa. We're not seeing them cracking down, arresting them, removing them, prosecuting them. We are not. Instead, they're just walking out of an ICE facility, standing there and trying to push them onto the other side of the street. And we're not seeing any arrests. We're not seeing any prosecutions. I don't know what the fuck is going on with the way things are going right now. And to me, if we are not seeing any results, I don't know how we can look at the midterms or 2028. I don't know how we can look at that as a conservative, Republican, libertarian, and independent, and even a MAGA community. I don't know how we can look at that coming to the midterms like next year. I don't know how we can look at the 2027 midterms knowing that we're going to about to face a fucking potential bloodbath in the midterm elections if Trump doesn't show results. If he doesn't, we're looking at a bloodbath come 2027 in the midterm elections. I'm telling you this right now. This is not meant to scare like Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, independents, and MAGA, but you're going to have to face the fucking reality here. is that if Mr. Trump doesn't show results by the midterm elections next year, I hate to say this, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to face a bloodbath next November in the midterms. And we're going to wind up handing Congress back to the Democrats. And then from there, holy shit, in the last 2 years, they're going to try to go after Trump with everything, including the goddamn fucking kitchen sink. Yeah. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Trump needs to face the reality that you need to do more instead of say more. Okay? You need to do what you say you're going to do and show the results or show the progress to the American public. It's that simple. But the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, all this talk and no action, it makes us look like fools. It makes us look like idiots. I'll say this: if I was an ICE agent or a Border Patrol agent trying to defend my facility from being attacked by left-wing terrorist groups like Antifa, that makes me look like an idiot. That really does. That makes me look like an idiot. So I sit there and I go like this. Mr. President, where's the action? Where's more federal troops to help us? Where's more federal help? If I'm an ICE agent or like a Homeland Security agent defending a facility and knowing that Antifa every night is attacking with no help, I would be like this. Where's the help, Mr. President? I thought you said you were labeling Antifa as a terrorist group, and where's the federal help to take these people down, arrest them, prosecute them, and throw them in prison? If I'm that like ICE agent or Border Patrol agent in Portland, Oregon, or in whatchamacallit, in Chicago, I'd be asking that same question myself. Where's the help? Where's this? Yeah, where is the help? It's not. Trump says it's coming, but we're not seeing it. And I'm telling you right now, just recently, guys, ICE agents had to arrest two people who had weapons and who had bombs that they were going to throw at ICE facilities. That alone, ladies and gentlemen, should warrant the military to show up, cordon off the whole area, and basically sending the FBI, Homeland Security after these leftists and after these paid protesters, including George Soros funded groups. Yeah, I I would be I would be doing that if I was the Homeland Security Secretary or like the Attorney General. I would be doing that in 2 seconds. Even Cash Patel, if Cash, you have the ability as FBI director to flood agents into that area and make arrests for basically like leftist protesters, leftist terrorist groups. You have the ability to flood the zone, to basically go after them night after night, day after day, arresting them, finding out where they're sheltering, harboring, you know what I mean, where they're training their people. You have the ability to go after them and literally shut them down. So I'm sitting here in my diaper and t-shirt wondering, where's the results of all this? Where is the results of all this talk? Because it seems to me, ladies and gentlemen, All talk and no action makes you look like a fool. And to me, that's what Mr. Trump is looking like right now. He's making himself look like a fool in front of MAGA, conservatives, Republicans, libertarians, and independents. He's really making himself look like a fool. And right now, I sit there and I go like this. Who's he fooling? Who's he trying to bluff and impress by saying that, oh yeah, we're gonna get tough on Antifa, we're gonna get tough on leftist groups like Act Blue and Open Society and all that. Okay, all talk, but where's the action? Where's the results? Where's the progress reports? You know, like grade school report cards? Where's the progress reports that you're making headway into this? Yeah, where is it? I mean, come on, ask yourself this. Ask yourself how many MAGA conservative Republicans, libertarians, and independents ask that question every day. Where is the results of Mr. Trump designating Antifa as a terrorist organization and going after them with everything, including the goddamn motherfucking kitchen sink? Where is the results, ladies and gentlemen? Because it seems to me, guys, the results aren't there. They never have been, never will. They've always been all talk and no action. And I'm gonna say this, Mr. Trump, we need a little less conversation from you and a little more action out of you. Okay? We need more action and more results. And if we're not getting that, Mr. President, I don't know how your legacy is going to hold up come the midterm elections in 2027 and the presidential election come 2028 when you have to hand the MAGA community over to JD Vance or Marco Rubio or RFK Jr. I don't know how that's going to hold up. I don't know. Come on. Come on. I want to see a day in 2027 where the Republican Party basically sweeps the entire midterm election and then does it again in 2028. I want to see that. But the problem is right now, Mr. Trump is becoming a president that is all talk and no action. And we're not seeing any progress reports. We're not seeing any news reports that are saying that yes, Antifa is getting arrested. Yes, the military is on the ground in Chicago and Portland. Yes, we're seeing more arrests from illegal immigrants to leftist groups. We're seeing more of that. But right now, we're not. Right now, we're not. We're not at the moment. And right now, it makes me question, ladies and gentlemen. It makes me question. It makes me question the results, okay? And it makes me question the faith of the president. It makes me question, ladies and gentlemen, as I'm here with you guys in my diaper and t-shirt and podcasting to y'all, it makes me question when are we going to see the results of your speeches and your executive orders? When are we going to see that? Because we're impatient right now. We voted for you and voted for these people, but now we're not seeing the results of all this. We're not seeing the results of what you asked for, what we wanted. We're not seeing it. And right now, Mr. President, your legacy is on shaky ground. Your legacy is on like shaky ground. And I don't know if you're going to have a legacy after 2028. So that's something that we may have to discuss. Okay? we may have to talk about that. All right. We may have to talk about where your legacy is going to be after 2028. Okay. We may have to, because right now your legacy is on shaky ground. Yeah. 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 So that's why I'm wondering, where's the results of all your action? I'm waiting, I'm looking, I'm trying to see over over the mountain ridge going towards Burlington and Winstead. I'm trying to see the results. Okay, come on. I like to see your results and I like to see the progress report. I really do, guys. I really do. But anyway, I want to turn your attention to this. Remember how California tried to sue the federal government in trying to block the military from entering their state and entering their city, trying to say, no, we don't have a problem. We're trying to get this under control. But night after night, you see it on the conservative news networks. You see it every freaking night. Okay, and then now you got this from Oregon. Oregon is trying to do the same thing what California did. Okay, if you remember during the summer, California tried to sue the federal government to block and stop the federal government from using the military to enter their city. Well, you all know what happened in California. The federal courts threw the state lawsuit out because what ultimately the federal government is doing is sending federal troops to protect federal property, not go after illegal immigrants. That's where federal law enforcement is doing. But the military was there just to protect their property from leftists who were showing up trying to protest, trying to like destroy like government facilities. Yeah. So now this article from the Daily Signal. Legal showdown in Oregon as Dems try to block National Guard. Okay? And here's the article. The state of Oregon sued Monday to stop the Trump administration from using the National Guard in the city of Portland to quell unrest that has targeted facilities run by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Okay, remember we did that same thing in California. Now Oregon's trying to do the same thing. Yep, yep. And then here this one. This one from News Nation. Oregon pushes back on Trump National Guard deployment. Okay? The state of Oregon is fighting back against the Trump administration's plan to move National Guard troops into the city of Portland. State officials have filed a lawsuit against the administration saying they do not have the legal right to make the decision. President Trump has called the city a war ravaged and said troops would be empowered to use full force without defining what that means to deal with Antifa, a group he said has domestic terrorists. So basically, Democrats in Oregon are doing the same shit that Democrats in California tried, but failed badly. And now it's deja vu all over again in Oregon, where now Oregon Democrats are going to sue the Trump administration over the same thing that Trump did in LA over the summer. Yeah. So it begs the question, how you tried this once in California and it failed, and now you're trying this again in Oregon, hoping that it succeeds? Really, Democrats? Are you that are you that dumb? Are you that stupid? Are you that dense? Didn't you see what happened in California? when they tried that, how did that work out for Democrats in California? It turned out, the federal government said the president was well within his authority to use Title 10 and to use the National Guard and federalize them and use them to basically secure the city. Yeah, Democrats in Washington, D.C. wanted to do the same thing. But you know what? The federal courts, ladies and gentlemen, said Trump was within his rights, within his powers. Yeah. So you know what that means? Trump was right to use the military to quell an insurrection that he sees in Portland, Oregon, and in Chicago. But Democrats want to go right to lawfare and right to basically like using the courts to basically impede what is constitutionally legally allowed that a president can do. Democrats, I'll say like this to the Democrats in Oregon, good luck. In trying to convince a federal court that Trump can't deploy the National Guard. Look, because I'm going to tell you right now, Title 10 is explicitly clear that the president can federalize National Guard troops, take the National Guard troops away from the state, and use them at their discretion. Yeah. Look, ladies and gentlemen, to the Democrats, fucking trying. And as they say, knock yourselves out, Democrats. Let me know how that works out for y'all. Let me know how y'all gonna use the courts to stop Mr. Trump from deploying the National Guard to clean up Portland, Oregon, and Chicago, Illinois. Let me know how that works out for y'all as I'm here podcasting in my diaper and t-shirt, and you trying to use the lawfare bullshit. Let me know, guys. Let me know how that works out for you guys. Because I'm going to tell you this, it's probably not going to work out well for them. It's probably never, ever going to work out. And at the moment, I'm just going to say this. Oregon may wind up like what happened to California when the federal courts overturned like a lower court ruling and said, well, the feds are in their right. Trump can deploy the National Guard to protect a federal facility, but he's not sending them to arrest Antifa. That's where law enforcement agencies like the U.S. Marshals and the FBI are for. Yeah, all the military is doing is guarding the facility like Fort Knox and making sure the left does not go within a certain feet of it and keeping them away from it. Yeah, but to actually arrest leftist groups like Antifa, that's where the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, the U.S. Border Patrol, and Customs and Border Patrol do. That's their job. But the military is just guarding the facility, making sure that no one enters without authorization. Pretty much, yeah. But the left, you know how they want to blow it out of proportion. They all want to say, like, oh, there's nothing wrong. But I'm telling you this, guys. I'm telling you this. This article just popped up, guys. Just popped up right here from the Red State. Update. Increasing panic from Oregon Democrats as the ugly truth about Portland is laid bare. Here's the thing. Democrats in Portland and in Oregon are trying to gaslight the living effing motherfucker out of you people, saying that, oh, there's nothing wrong. Portland is a wonderful, safe city. Yeah, but they show it during the daytime. But then at night, when Antifa comes out of their mama's basement, okay, and then they wreak havoc on ICE facilities. Yeah, makes me wonder why we don't put barbed wire around the ICE facility, why we don't put fences around it and tower guards around it. Because you know why? The left would say, oh, it's fascist, fascist. But you know what? You put a mirror in front of them when they're pointing at Trump for being a fascist, they're actually pointing themselves. Yeah. You know how every time they want to punch a Nazi, every time they punch, it swings right into their face. Because it knows who the real Nazis are. It's the left. Yeah, it really is. It really is. But I'm telling you, the arrest of like the Antifa left, I'm telling you, it's going to continue. But the way I think would solve this, ladies and gentlemen, is if you hit them with RICO. Is if you hit them with all the RICO statute violations in the book. And I mean, hit them with everything that you got. Okay? You really have to, guys. You really have to. At this point, Pam Bondi needs to get her ass off the chair from these news broadcasts, giving speeches and all. She needs to do her damn ass job in ordering all the AUSAs to literally go after them. To literally, and I mean literally, ladies and gentlemen, go after these people. They literally do. But the fact of the matter is, guys, Pam Bondi is like Trump. All talk, no action. Okay? All talk and no action. I like to see some action here, folks. I like to see some results here. I like to see Antifa, leftists, liberals, and Democrats walked into federal prison. I like to see that, guys. Okay? I like to, but I'm telling you right now, man, it's turning out to be all talk and no action. In my view, actions speak louder than words, and it seems that Mr. Trump and his administration is all talk and no action. It is, guys. It really is. And as I'm here with y'all, guys, I just want to say like this, and I want to say like this to all the leftists, liberals, and Democrats out there. Your days are numbered. Your days are numbered, bitch. Your days are numbered. Yeah, you're done. You're finished. You're wiped out. You're finito. It is. You're really finito. Yeah. Put it to you this way, Antifa. By the end of Trump's presidency, you're going to be sitting in a federal prison cell for the next 15 to 20 years. And judging by some of the Antifa left, which is what? A lunatic mentally ill, you're going to be sitting in a federal prison, and you'll be wondering, like, what are you going to be doing for the next 15 to 20 years? And most of y'all probably going to be like, probably sitting in a federal prison, probably getting out when they're in their 50s and 60s. So that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen to them. But I will say this, guys. I will say this. We need to see more action out of this. We really do. We really do. All right. So anyway, I want to talk about this article. All right. This article came from like the Connecticut Centennial, and I'm going to read you the headline from this and the backstory from this. Okay. Soros-linked group wants to drive students to No Kings protest in October and feed them, give them signs and other material. The backstory to this article, guys, I posted a tweet yesterday about a leftist group soliciting like me to donate my time or donate like money to fund college students to protest and all that. And the link of the group said blue-future.org. You know what I mean? Turned out to be a George Soros funded group trying to solicit me to donate to them. Okay? When Connecticut Centennial got wind of my tweet and basically took it and ran it, that was the result of all that. And the fact that they wanted me to like drive them to a No Kings protest coming up is like hell no. Yeah, hell no. And I'll read you the headline from this. The progressive group Blue Future, a project of a hybrid federal pact called the Youth Progressive Action Catalyst, is asking for donations right now so it can raise funds to transport college students to the nearest No Kings protest on October 18th. Blue Future is one of more than 200 organizations listed as partners for the second No Kings, along with the ACLU, AFT, Connecticut Citizens Action Group, Greenpeace, Human Rights Campaign, Indivisible, League of Women Voters, March On, SEIU, Working Families Power, and so on. In addition to the buses, Blue Future wants to buy protesters coffee, bagels, pizza, signs, and other materials that they need for the big day. Gee, how thoughtful. Yep. Because of the one text that I got the other day, and I posted it on X and posted it on all the alternative social media platforms. This article from Connecticut Centennial is the result of all this. Now they got exposed that leftists and leftist political action groups are using college students and paying college students to protest on their behalf, and some of them getting arrested, getting criminal records, and then probably being bailed out by Antifa, and the Antifa lawyer group called the National Lawyers Group or the ACLU. Because of my tweet that I did on X yesterday, and it's getting exposed, yes, it is finally happening. And this is the article on Connecticut Centennial that is the result of all this, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that some leftist group decided to text me soliciting donations, soliciting me to support them and doing the research, finding out who this group actually is. It's probably a leftist group that got my information because basically a long time ago I wrote something to Senator Murphy, who all of a sudden sent my name to leftist groups. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it seems now I'm turning this around and sending it to all the conservative groups and to the conservative social media platforms and saying, "Hey, look at what this leftist group is doing. Look at what they're trying to do. Look at what they did, you know? Look at what they did by trying to solicit donation from me." Mm-hmm. Look at what they're saying, quote unquote. And I took a screenshot of that text message they sent me, posted it on social media, including all the alternative social media. Bam, took off like wildfire. Now they're finding out that there's another protest coming out called No King's Day on October 18th, which is, yeah, on a Saturday. Looks like every conservative is getting whim of it, and now they're gonna find out that, oh shit, now they're doing another protest. Now's a good time to send people in to take a look and go, yeah, and expose these people for who they are, or as I call it, doing a James O'Keefe on them, trying to put look, maybe on the No Kings protest day, maybe we should pull a James O'Keefe on these people and go undercover and expose these people for who they are. Dress up in all leftist garb and all that, go undercover as leftists, but have like what? A hidden camera or a hidden or like a hidden tape recorder and just record everything they do and say, and then exposing them for who they are. Might be a good opportunity to do that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, this might be a good opportunity for everyone to go to their protests, film them, and expose them for who they are. But just go there, pretend to be that you're a leftist in disguise, and then exposing them. Watch how fast Watch how fast they clam up. And then if you're gonna post it, ladies and gentlemen, don't post it on YouTube. YouTube will YouTube will more than likely take it down in less than 2 seconds. To save your ass, post it on alternative social media sites or YouTube alternative rumble.com. Post it up there, because once you post it up there, the left can't take it down. Okay? The left can try, and the left can even like intimidate and all that, but they will never ever be able to take it down. They'll never do. They can try all they want, but I'm gonna tell you guys, it's gonna fail badly, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna fail badly. It is. But I will say this, I did a good thing by exposing leftists trying to solicit campaign. I did a good thing. I really did. I really did. And I know, thanks to Connecticut Centennial, oh, they're exposing it for everyone to see. They really are. They really are. And I have to give a shout out to Connecticut Centennial here. Thank you for looking at my tweet and exposing it. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. I want to give a shout out. I'm gonna the Connecticut Centennial. And boys, if you're not a subscriber to Connecticut Centennial, I want you to follow them on X, follow them on their alternative social media, subscribe to them. I want to give a shout out to these people. I really do, guys. I really do. I want to give a shout out to them. Yeah, but damn, man, damn, that was a good long show. That was, guys. That was. But I'm glad I got everything I wanted to say out today. I really did today, and yeah, I really wanted to say things and say what I wanted to say. Even though today I'm suffering from tinnitus and suffering from ringing in the ear, but I still have to podcast for y'all. Still have to get a show out. Still have to get stuff out for you guys. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to get that out, and I wanted to make sure that my listeners are getting in on everything and getting in on social media. So I wanted to get that all out and get that in front of everyone. You know. So I hope I did get it out. I hope I did get it out for y'all, and I hope I did, but I was suffering from tinnitus, and that happens when I'm listening to music on my headphones very loudly, and basically it rings my ears. So that happens. So at this point, I'm just hoping that it goes away, which should go away in a couple of days, and I hope it does, because I don't like having tinnitus and don't like having ringing in the ears. And that is the result of me having sensory neural hearing loss. And yes, I am deaf and hard of hearing in one ear, guys. So that is a fact, okay? That is a fact. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for listening to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host. I will see y'all soon. Bye for now.
You just listened to an episode of Nikki's World. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.